The 2023 76ers are just different. Simple as that. As they continue to win games, Joel Embiid is on a tear, but will he win another MVP? And can this team finally get out of the second round? Perfect. What is up, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you enjoy this video. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of the coverage. You guys have been killing it on the videos, live streams, etc. All the different platforms, all the ways to support down below. We are live every single game, and we were live last night as the Sixers handily took care of business in South Philly. They absolutely whopped the Los Angeles Lakers. There was a lot of chattering going into that game, primarily due to our guy B-Ball Paul. Shout out to B-Ball Paul, out the mud with Paul Reed and RB. Here is what B-Ball Paul said last night before the Sixers-Lakers game about Anthony Davis. Quote, "He's a big flopper, so make sure I don't get in foul trouble early by any means. I can't be too aggressive with him. He's going to be flailing, so I got to make sure I stay out of foul trouble." The refs were calling these ticky-tacky foul calls, but either way, it didn't matter. Paul Reed almost matched AD in the second half. Joel Embiid had a triple-double last night. Vibes were high, man. They backed it up. Guys were saying, even Darvin Ham, oh, well, now Paul's got to go out there and play AD. Well, he went out there and he balled out. Shout out to Paul. Even after the game, he said, I was just keeping it 50 times 2. Keeping it 100, man. Joel Embiid is now 7-1. in his career against Anthony Davis with 6 straight wins. The last time that he lost was a game in which Jahlil Okafor, Sergio Rodriguez, and Gerald Henderson were starting for the Sixers. I'll be honest, I knew the Lakers were kind of midway this year so far, right? They're like average. I didn't know they were that bad. I know they missed a couple pieces last night, but come on now. They were absolutely disgusting. I've never seen LeBron go out there and play a game like that. Is the national media talking about the fact that LeBron had 0 rebounds? Guys, LeBron had 0. Could you imagine if Joel Embiid did that? The media would not let it go for the rest of the season. I don't know what was crazier. LeBron putting up 0 rebounds or LeBron and Anthony Davis being outscored by Patrick Beverley, Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and Mo Bamba. I mean, Mo Bamba was cooking in this game. That's how you know your franchise is in trouble. Anyway, the Sixers get it done. They win it by 44 points. It was a blowout, and Joel Embiid had yet another monster game. Here are now his stats over the last 9 games. Look at these numbers, man. Just take a look. Take a look. It's unbelievable. And a lot of these games are coming with only 3 quarters of play. In fact, 5 games so far this season, Joel has sat in the 4th quarter because he hasn't needed to play. Great management, great rotations by Nick Nurse, and obviously last night the spark was the bench. These guys like Marcus Morris and Pat Bev, even Mo Bamba, I guess, showing up against their former team. And here's Joel Embiid on the season now. 32 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, 6.6 assists. I can stop there. The rest of it is very impressive, but the Sixers are different this season, and that's what I want to talk about, man. The Sixers are absolutely different. Now, I had the privilege of talking with B-Ball Paul and Coach Nurse. Shout out again to Out the Mud with B-Ball Paul. Go check it out on the Hog Media channel if you have not yet. We did this interview podcast a couple weeks ago, and a couple things stood out to me from Nick Nurse. And I never got to really talk about it, but number one, even talking to him off camera, the guy is very, very humble. He is very, very sharp-minded. And yeah, he's got a good personality, but he is so locked in on winning. I know exactly why this team is playing the way they are. And for me, the one word to describe this team this year, and I could just tell from talking to Nick, discipline. He lays down the law. I can tell in practice, these guys finally do drills. They're finally running up and down the floor just by the way he handles it. He said 50% of the offense isn't even, in place yet. Like they haven't even hit 50%. These guys have so much more coming this season. They are 12-5. A lot of people wanted to overreact last week on our live streams. Again, we're live every game. We see the ups and downs. And after 2 straight losses, a bad one against the Cavs, and then the game against the Timberwolves where Joel Embiid did not play, people were freaking out. They were overreacting. Guys and gals, it is a long season. It is little by little. You got to take the ups and the downs. You're not going to win all 82. But the way that this team then bounced back, right? They go up against the number 2 seeded OKC Thunder. They beat them. They go up against another winning team last night. They beat them by 44 points. They absolutely send them out of the gym. It's not the fact that the Sixers are 12-5, because I know people out there right now are probably saying, yo, RB, you're falling into the same trap. They're going home in the second round. Same old, same old. It's not that they're winning games or losing games. Even if they were losing, it's the way they are playing. It is the fact that Joel Embiid is averaging 11.3 rebounds per game, 6.6 assists. He's almost had about 3 or 4 triple-doubles this year. Everybody is spreading the wealth. And keep in mind, a very integral piece of this team has not even come back yet, and that is Kelly Oubre. Speaking of which, great update. Kelly Oubre could possibly return on Friday, according to Coach Nick Nurse. They said he's, probably going to be in a questionable for the next couple games, but he could end up coming back, which would be great for this team. Don't forget, he's averaging 16 points per game. He's shooting above 40% from 3. You look at a guy like even Batum. Batum shooting 55% from 3. Melton is finally above 40%. The Sixers have finally built the right prototype of a team, of a system. Joel finally has a system. He finally has a coach who is going to instill that he needs to play, almost like a Jokic did last year in the playoffs, right? You got to get others involved. You have to be moving around. I'm seeing so many off-ball screens. I'm seeing so many backdoor cuts. There's so many times where Joel does a little dribble handoff where Maxey rolls up top and he hands it off and Maxey's just attacking. That was the one thing I saw last night from Tyrese Maxey that I feel like we hadn't seen in about 4 games, is that he went right out there in the first quarter and said, I'm going to go get it. Sometimes Tyrese Maxey needs to be reminded, probably from coach, that, yo, you're one of the stars on this team. Go take the rock and go put up 30 points. And that is what Maxey did last night. And Joel Embiid talked about his relationship with Tyrese Maxey after they combined for 61 points. Shout out to Lauren Rosen. Listen to this quote. Joel Embiid says, he's been great all season. He's getting better at understanding the pace of the game. Tonight, I never felt like we got rushed, especially in the 2-man action. It kind of reminds me of what JJ and I had, JJ Redick, that combo, but obviously he's getting better at attacking the rim. He can put it on the floor, and he's a great shooter, so that's a great combo. Maxey is a combo guard. He can do everything. He has improved defensively. He doesn't turn the ball over as much. He just needs the confidence. That's it. That's it. Some of these games where Maxey doesn't go out and shoot more than 5 times in the first half, that cannot happen. Maxey needs to be told, you are looked at as one of the top 2 options on this team. Some nights you're going to be the top option. You are a superstar. Go out there, and even if you miss shots, it is okay. And even Nick Nurse joked last night after the game. He was like, Maxey came up to me and said, I wanted to be more aggressive. And Nick's like, dude, I tell you that every single day. Nick Nurse said from the day he was hired, we're going to get Maxey in more downhill action, more pick and roll game, and he's going to have the ball in his hands. And, this team never did that before. And Doc Rivers never trusted young guys. Maxey and Embiid can take this team to the next level. The way they are playing as a unit is great. I am not sitting here saying by any means that they are championship level yet. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I'm not saying they're going to get past the second round or they're not. What I'm saying is right now, the system is finally in place. So now you have assets, right? You can wait a couple months, go out, get more help for this team. You got Oubre coming back, and you add some ancillary pieces. You have the structure in place. Before, it was only Joel, right? And if Joel went out and he went down and he's banged up in the playoffs, you're most likely not going to make it. And, you just didn't have enough. Now it feels like you got everybody involved, and it's a great feeling. And Nick Nurse instills that confidence in this team. He's been a fantastic coach, and I expect them to keep winning a majority of the games. I honestly do. Joel says it's fun. I love playing like that in the 2-man game. It's fun passing the ball around until you find whatever's open, right? Dish, dish, dish. Oh, there's Tobias Harris in the corner. Tobias got to get a little better on them threes. He's struggling a bit right now, but he's still averaging 18.5 per game. Dish, dish, dish. Oubre comes back. Boom. Right? Can't double team Joel all the time. You have shooters willing and ready to put it through the hoop. It has been great, man. And overall, this Sixers team just looks a lot more polished, right? Couple games they got off their mark, but They're out-rebounding teams by a lot. They're playing better defense. They're closing out on shooters. Their pace is there, right? You can just see it. It's different. The Sixers are different this year. Whether that means they're going to win the chip or not, that's a different story. That is in wait and see mode based on what they do. But as of right now, it's looking like the Sixers won both James Harden trades when they acquired him and when they traded him. Great work by Daryl Morey. Great work by Nick Nurse so far. And I think guys like Joel Embiid are starting to look themselves in the mirror finally and say, here's how we can put out the best product as a unit. So I'm excited about this Sixers team. I think they are legit. And I'll tell you what, Sixers get to the second round. I trust Nick Nurse a whole lot more than a Doc Rivers. By far. So we'll see what happens, but give me all your thoughts so far on this 12-5 start down in the comment section. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, we're live every single game right here on YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.